pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, thank you all for coming. Thank you. And we'll move on into our agenda. First, I entertain a motion to approve the agenda as posted and sent to the news media 24 hours prior to the meeting.
So moved. Second.
Motion by Mr. Davies, second by Mr. Palmer. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Thank you. Next item is public comment. I'm going to ask that we reserve any comments on the vicious dog hearing for that, where there will be time to do that during that. So if there's any other public comment other than that, I entertain today.
I'm coming forward.
Please state your name.
Lily Rodemeyer, Hampton,
All right.
Iowa.
Okay. Step up to the microphone.
This is to support Matt.
Okay, is this
Yes.
regarding?
I'm going to say yes.
Is this regarding the vicious dog thing
Oh,
item?
it's about our postal worker.
Okay.
And Mike, I'm sure you'll
Please.
agree with me.
You can speak into the microphone so that everybody
I'm
on
sure
the
you'll
online
agree
can
with
hear
me
that.
on this one. I'm putting this as my protection. Survives up. Our community needs to work together to protect all postal workers. When a postal carrier does not see a clear view to the mailbox, they just don't get their mail delivered. That's it. And Matt, you've gone above the duty of being just a postal worker on your route. I know some time ago, there was an elderly lady, and you noticed that her yard needed to be mowed. And so you went to her home, her property, and you mowed her yard after hours. Matt, I also know you would be the mail carrier in the neighborhood who would notice a dog dragging a leash from the collar, and you would probably be the postal carrier that would call back to Mike and say, hey, I know the dog is lost. Let's get it back home. I know you would do that. I know you would do that. The dedication to your job and the people on your route is truly, you're a great postal worker. You carried our route for several years. Your wife Tracy now carries our route. You consider everyone to be important in your life, and you watch out for those on your route. Your hard work and professionalism does not go unnoticed. We thank you for your strong work ethic, and from me to you, I talked to Heather today too, and she said, I should tell you, if you don't view the mailbox, you don't deliver the mail, keep you safe. And Heather sends her best regards. Thanks.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And I'm out of here.
Does anybody else have any public comment? If not, we will move on. The reason we're here today, we have a public hearing. So the public is on a vicious dog bite incident and involving a dog owned by Sean Walker at 702 7th Avenue Southwest in Hampton on July 23rd, 2025. So we'll open the public hearing at 6:05. And I think we'll start off, we're going to try and limit, I don't know how many people want to talk, but we're going to try to limit to 3 to 5 minutes for each person. Everybody will have a chance, but we're just going to try and keep this thing moving. And we're going to start off with Chief Morrison to bring us up to speed on the investigation.
Council, Mayor, on Wednesday, July 23rd, 2025, at approximately 12:53 p.m., it was reported to the Hampton Police Department that USPS mail carrier Matt Johnson was delivering mail at Sean Walker's residence located at 702 7th Avenue Southwest when he walked around the camper that was parked in front of the house to get the mail to the mail receptacle. When he got to the other side of the camper, it was reported that Sean Walker was standing there with his dog, Buddy, who was chained up when it attacked Mr. Johnson, biting down on his right arm. He sustained 3 large wounds requiring sutures, I do believe about 10, another small wound, and a large hematoma. Mr. Walker's dog is described as a 2.5-year-old brindle-colored boxer mix named Buddy, who was not current with rabies vaccination, nor is he registered with the City of Hampton. Prior registration expired in March 2024, and the rabies expired November of 2023. Mr. Walker was cited for failure to register the dog and for no rabies vaccination. The dog was taken to the Hampton Vet Center to have it quarantined. Statements were obtained from the witnesses and were included in your packets, along with photographs of the injuries sustained. And then I think we'll have a chance to hear from all the witnesses. So.
Did you want to entertain questions right now, or?
Sure, you might have some
Any
after,
questions
but
for
before.
Mr. Chief Morrison right now?
So the test for rabies, has that came back negative or positive?
They won't test the dog as long as it doesn't show signs within that 10 days.
Okay, what are the signs?
You'd have to talk to the vet about that, but they monitor the dog for the 10 days.
Okay.
Go ahead.
Mr. Holmstrom?
I have a few questions. I'll make them brief. Mark?
Yep.
Were you the investigating officer, or did somebody else do this?
No, I did this.
You did this. When you first investigated the incident, was the dog present?
I initially went down to his residence to see if the dog was running at large, and then I saw it wasn't out at large, so I went immediately out to the hospital to check on Mr. Johnson. And then when I got his statement of the events occurred, I went back to the house to get the dog, which was there.
Okay. And when you picked up the dog, did he demonstrate any vicious tendencies?
I had Mr. Walker take the dog to his own car, and I followed him out to the pound. I did not want to put myself in a position where I would get bit. So I don't know if I was going to, but I wasn't going to put myself in that position either.
Okay. Has there been any other reports of vicious behavior from this dog at all in the past?
No.
That's all I have. Thank you, Mark.
Thank you. Anyone else, any other questions for Chief Morrison at this time? All right. Thank you, sir. Next up, we would like to hear from the victims. So I believe Matt, make sure I got the right name. Just step up and say your name for us. Thank you.
Okay, yes, I am the individual that got bit. I've got photos here I'd like to show you guys as my injuries. I also have diagrams of the basically the front of the house. Would you guys like to see them? Okay. Be careful. Hope you have a stomach. Oh, I'm sorry.
That's all right.
It's okay. You can make sure you have enough for them
Yes,
first.
I do have
Okay.
enough for everybody.
Okay.
Am I allowed to make a statement, or is it you guys just want to hear what?
Yeah, this is your time. This is your time to
Okay.
speak. Yes. Yep.
Thank you. right, so let me begin by just stating, I deliver mail. That's what I do. I'm gonna jump right into the delivery, the house before the delivery, which I would have been delivering to 703 7th Ave. I made that delivery. Now, upon making that delivery, I don't know if you guys have ever seen us out there walking, okay? But this is one of the things that we use to carry the mail with. I have this in this arm, along with mail in this arm, in my hand like this. And basically, I have mail in this hand, ready for my next delivery. Okay? So upon making that delivery, I already had Mr. Walker's mail ready for delivery for his mailbox. I've delivered to that address many times. At no time did I ever see a dog. There was, I didn't, but, so I proceeded to make that delivery. I had a clear view of the mailbox. On the diagram that I gave you guys, you'll see, this is not to scale, but the black dot where it says Matt, that's me. That's where I was when I crossed the back of the bumper of the camper. Immediately after crossing the back bumper, I looked to my left, and the circle is where the dog was. The X is where Mr. Walker was. Upon seeing that, I also noticed that there was a red cable tie-out. I called it a chain at the time, but it was a red cable tie-out. That took me a second to process what I just saw, okay? And in that second, I saw that red cable chain start to unravel as with the dog proceeding to come at me, okay? So my instincts was to back away as quickly as possible, okay? As I was backing away, in my mind, I was, if I can back away quick enough, that chain will tighten up that I saw at Mr. Walker's feet, which he did not even attempt to grab. I would not be getting, I'm gonna slow down because I'm starting to get, when I saw that at his feet and I began to walk away, all I needed to do was back away quick enough for that chain to tighten up, and I'd be done. Now, I want to make sure I'm not going too fast here, because, so a 2 second thought was, I need that chain to tighten up or I'm done. I'm done. By the time I said the second I'm done, the dog was on my arm. All right. I remained patient while the dog was on my arm, but I remember sitting there, I couldn't even see the dog's teeth. The dog was on my arm. And basically, and the circle with the X on it, that's where the dog had got a hold of me. So I remain patient. There's nothing I can do with a dog on your arm. Now, keep in mind, I still have mail like this. I still have mail in my hand like this. I was defenseless. Even with that dog on my arm, did I never touch that dog? I never touched it. All I can do is remain calm with that dog on my arm. Had I pullen away, my wounds would be a lot worse. Had I fought with the dog, my wounds would be a lot worse. My fingers, no broken bones, no other cuts on my hand. I didn't fight the dog. I have no reason to fight a dog on a chain. I just need that chain to tighten up to get away. So after the dog bite, I was struggling with the dog, or, not struggling with the dog, but the dog was on my arm and I was patiently waiting for it to let go. It let go. But, and in my police statement, I said, it took about, now, timeline, 1 second for me to process where the dog, Mr. Walker, and the chain. 2 seconds for it to, in my mind, I was thinking, all I need to do, back away, chain will tighten, this incident's done. In that time, the photos that you guys seen, that is 5 seconds with the dog on your arm. After the dog let go, and at that moment, I know there was I know I was saying, I was like, oh darn, not oh darn, but you know, I know there was no way from where Mr. Walker was standing at the X with his dog. It ran around the corner. It ran around the corner of the camper. At no time did Mr. Walker ever come over and assist me with that dog. That was 5 seconds. He did not. He was nowhere to be seen. When the dog let go, I began to walk to 7th Ave, and it would be 7th Street. At that corner, I was looking at my wounds. One of the wounds hit an artery. I had blood squirting out. Very. So anyways, as I was walking down 7th Street, I called my wife, Tracy, which is another postal carrier, and I told her. Now, you're probably wondering why I called Tracy. I picked up my phone, or I grabbed my phone, and I basically, she's the first one on my list. Instead of going into like 911 or calling Mike, all I had to do was hit it once, and I'm on the phone with her. I informed her immediately that I was going to need to call Mike to let him know that I got bit by a dog and that I needed immediate medical assistance. I didn't dial 911 at that time because I was able to walk. I did not want to sit on a corner and wait. I didn't. I wanted to keep moving. I was in trouble, and I wanted to keep moving. So then I got up to 6th Ave. Mr. Walker was nowhere to be seen. He didn't even come and check on me. At no time between 7th Ave and 5th Ave, nobody from that address come up and assisted me, asked if I was okay, see if I needed a ride. There was no help. He left me there. He left me there with the dog on my arm, no assistance there. He let me walk from 7th Ave to 5th Ave, which is 2 city blocks. Didn't even come and check on me. When I hopped in my LLV, me and Tracy already had the conversation that we were going to meet at the post office. I'm glad I had that conversation with her because according to her, I blacked out. I pretty much fell out of the LLV. And basically, not once, but twice. I fell out of the LLV. She got me over. We walked over to the car, and she says my feet were not underneath me. So she yelled out to another. She yelled out for help. She yelled out for help. There was a kind gentleman, which I do not know who he is, but I'd really like to thank him because he assisted Tracy at that. He assisted Tracy at that time, and I remember looking at his face, and he was just like, "What happened?" You know. Got in the car, went out to the hospital. They stitched me up. Now, I tell you what, after that incident, they stitched me up. I got, it was about 2:30, let's say 2:30. I come back to the post office. Arnie looked at me, and he says, "I suppose you're going to go home now." That's not me. I says, "I want to finish up my day," so I delivered more mail. I just want to make sure that you guys understand that at no time while making this delivery, did I ever touch that dog. when I come to your address and I make that delivery, upon discovering that you have a dog at your house, I've got 2 seconds to react. The dog already has 1 second on me. I've got 2 seconds to react, whether that's going to be a good dog or a bad dog. And all I did, I noticed the chain. I saw it. I know I referred to it as a chain, but it's a red cable tie out, to be correct. All I needed that thing to do was tighten up as I was backing away. I'm defenseless.
Yeah.
I am defenseless.
Yeah.
As you see, no cuts on my hand, no broken bones. This is a one bite injury. If I was struggling, or if I was doing anything else to that dog, I think I'd have more wounds. I appreciate your guys' time on this matter. I really do, because honestly, we shouldn't be here. We shouldn't. And that's
Palmer has
what I've got to say. Oh, one other thing, and I think this is important. I've got notes here. I'm not going to go into a lot of them, but this is one note I want to say. On the 25th, yes, on the 25th, when I was going up to get these photos for you guys, I had a recall. The entryway to the garage of this residence. On the entryway to the garage at this residence where I put his packages for him that he orders. I put his packages there. There was a sign on that door that simply stated, "Don't even think of stealing from me, because I have neighbors watching my house, and I'll know who you are." Thank you for your time.
I do have a question.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Question answer.
Mr. Palmer has a
I'm
question
sorry.
for you.
And not a
We ain't letting,
trivial-
we ain't getting you that easy.
Okay.
I just want to know, as you stand, where was your arm? I mean, just as you just happened to walk around, is it this height or
Okay.
this height or this height?
You know, in this situation, I know I talk fast, and my arm was right here, or I'm carrying the mail. Carrying the mail. When the dog jumped up from its position, okay, it didn't. I don't believe the back legs left the ground, because when the dog lashed onto my arm, I know I had to go forward just slightly, because the front feet were off the ground. And I'm glad you guys are asking questions, because
My
I
concern
love-
was, had you dropped a letter by accident,
No.
your face would have been at that level.
What's that?
I said, had you accidentally dropped a letter, your face would have been at that level. I mean,
Basically, yeah.
lots of other scenarios.
Yeah, there's lots of other scenarios, but I think remaining calm in that situation really helped me,
Okay,
just to remain calm.
that's all I've got, Mayor.
All right, thank you.
Matt,
Yes.
Mr. Bell?
I want you to know that, without a doubt, I'm sure that every council person here or visitor sympathizes with what happened. And I want you to know that we understand how traumatic that this can be for a carrier. I think I know it's a worst nightmare for a carrier and his family, but I know that for a postmaster or another fellow employee, they hate to see that this happens. And we're very sorry that it did, and hope it doesn't happen again. I just said a couple of things. The other night was the first time I've ever seen your parents, and I was so impressed by your father addressing the council. I just want to say to you that I thought that was very brave of him to do that. It showed a lot of courage to address us as he did, and your parents obviously love you very much. That was demonstrated at that meeting. You said that this was the first time that you've seen that dog at that address?
That is correct. That is correct. There's been, of course, I deliver mail to his address, If you look at if you look at the diagram I drew up, I don't have the mailbox position on here, but it is right next to the doorway entering the garage. That's where the mailbox is at. And when the camper came in, the other portion right there in front of that door, that's a cement pad. I'll tell you, I used to walk that way to exit the residence, and at no time did I ever see a chain or anything like that. I stopped going that way because there was one day that somebody yelled out of the camper, and I'm like, I shouldn't be walking this way. I should be the way I enter that house, or the way I enter that to get to the mailbox. That's the way I should be exiting. I shouldn't be, but at that time, there was no red cable tie out at that address. There was no stake in the ground.
Okay.
Thank you, Matt.
Yeah, thank you.
All right. Any other questions for Matt at this point?
I do have one question.
Ms.
I'm a little
Griffey?
confused about how you deliver it. So you typically come down the sidewalk and up the driveway, correct? Did you cut across the yard?
And at this particular address, the sidewalk there, it being 7th Ave, there is a road that I have to cross. So 703 7th Ave, she has her mailbox right by the garage, right by the garage. And I would grab the mail for Mr. Walker's residence. I would grab that mail, and I would already have that in my hand so that when I'm walking across, I can see his mailbox. So I would cross the road
Okay.
and then proceed up the driveway to the mailbox.
Okay. All right. Any other questions for Matt at this point? All right. Thank you. We appreciate you being
Okay.
here and
Yep.
and
Thank
your
you for your
recollection of the incident. And I'm sure there's probably other people that want to speak on Matt's behalf, and we'll get to you that here in a minute. So right now, I would want to go over to the dog owner and allow you to operate or to address the council.
Well, I'm Sean Walker, and I can tell you what happened that day. I went in to get a saw blade out of my camper, and the cat got out, and I saw the dog coming from underneath the camper, chasing the cat like he always does. And then he just kind of veered off this way to the left, and he went around the corner, and I saw the mailman, and he went down, he spat the dog, because my dog kind of jumped up, spat with the mail, and I said, what the heck? And then when I said that, Buddy grabbed onto his arm. I yelled at the dog, said, let go, Buddy, stop, and he let go, and then I took him in the camper there. I was wiping the blood off the top of his head, make sure he wasn't hurt or anything. And then after that, I knew the cops would probably be there. You know, and that's when Jesse came around the corner, and he said he saw the whole thing. But I didn't see him go down the street or nothing like that, just trying to control the dog, make sure he didn't go back out there or anything like that. He wasn't like worked up or anything, he laid down, but I just make sure nothing else, he didn't get out and do anything else. And then when Morrison showed up, we found out statements and stuff like that, but that leash, it's not, he's got the color wrong. So I know that he wasn't too upset because it's blue. It's a blue chain. It's been there, it's the one I've always used. And he's had to see the dog before, it's chained to the tree on the other side. I've been outside when he got the mail, brought the mail there with the dog. And I'm not even blaming him, I'm trash talking like he is me, but I don't blame him for what he did. I probably would have done the same thing. You know, some dog jumping at me, I don't know it. But it's just, I don't know. My dog's he's a friendly dog. You know, if he gets smacked, I'm sure that's what's gonna happen, he defend himself, but other than that, he's never bit anybody. He's just spoiled. I have him chained up everywhere I go, even in the car. I've got a seatbelt on him. I mean, he's never not unchained. And I'm always sitting outside with him. I've had him since he's 5 weeks old. He's a big baby. I'm sure right now he's right freaked out. I mean, I called there stick today to check on him. But does he deserve to be put down? Probably not, no. You know, he's just freak incident. He's normally not tied up there, no. I've moved the camper since then, and I didn't want to park there in the first place. I'm just not good at backing things up, so I had a friend do it. But, yeah, it's all moved. He's normally not chained up there, but he was at the end of his chain. I make sure that thing doesn't go to the sidewalk. I worry about kids teasing him, so the kids will be kids. So I'm always out there with him. I make sure it doesn't go to the sidewalk. I did have a kennel for him, but he just whined all the time. So I got rid of that. But if I have to, get another one. You know, just anything to prevent anything, you know, from happening. That's all I got to say, really.
Any questions for Sean? I think the only question I got would be, you said typically the dogs died up on the side.
Yes.
Is there a reason it was
Big pine
tied
tree.
out on the front this time?
Yeah, I was right there where I could see him, because he was underneath there, like the step there, and I opened up the camper, the cat ran out. And him and the cat just kind of, they play around. So I went behind him like that, and then he took a right. And when I came around the corner, he was jumping up at him, and he hit him with the mail. And then when I said something, that's when he grabbed onto him. I said, buddy, let go. I mean, he listens to me. Then I just took him in the camper after that.
Okay.
I just made sure he didn't get back out. I didn't want any more incidents, so I was kind of shocked about the whole thing, too.
Sure. All right, thank you.
I do have some
Mr.
questions.
Yeah, I have a question for you. Sean? Jerry's got
I
a
do have
question for you.
questions.
Thank you.
I don't know if you're aware of that, but we've been going through the dog ordinances and trying to strengthen that ordinance a little bit. And in our research, there's 3 state laws. Number 1, the dog must be registered. Number 2, the dog has to be vaccinated against rabies. And number 3, if your dog bites, you are responsible for reporting that. And that's responsible dog ownership. Can you tell me why none of these things were done?
Honestly, I've been in and out of the hospital, so it's not much of an excuse. I've had heart problems. I've been there for like weeks at a time, and I fell behind. You know, I've had people come in and help me do housework and stuff like that. And I told Morrison, I said, yeah, I'm behind. I told him from the get-go. I know he hasn't had them. I've been meaning to, but I've been under the weather. I've been thinking about for that. They've all been out ambulances and everything else. So it's not much of an excuse, but yeah, it's my fault. So I'll take ownership about it. I'm not going to blame anybody. He is, but yeah, I meant to. I didn't know how. I thought once you licensed him, I didn't know how long that was good for. On that part, I just thought that was the one-time thing. But like the rabies thing, yeah, that's my fault. I thought the license thing, I thought that was just, I had to do it once. That was it.
Okay. Thank you. Any other questions for Sean before we're, all right? Thank you. At this point, if there's anybody who would like to make a comment on Matt or Sean's behalf, I'd invite you to come up and state your name, please.
I'm Jesse Fields. I was present the day that it happened. I was on the ladder on the side where you walk into the camper. I was on a ladder putting caulk around the windows, and I heard some commotion, and I went around the corner, and I seen the mailman. He was backing up, he was swatting at the dog with the mail. And then when the dog let go, he went underneath the camper, and he started walking down the street. I didn't see no blood, so I thought it was all right. And I didn't see the blood till I got in the camper and saw blood on the dog's face.
Okay.
So.
All right. Thank you. Any other? I'm sorry. You're next. Okay. Gotcha.
My name's Michelle Murray. I'm a coworker. I've been a post office here in town for 20 years. I delivered mail for the first 6, and I've been bit by dogs that were nice. So I just was listening first and just in support of Matt. I know Matt. He's not going to antagonize the dog. He will walk away. My question is if all this stuff happened, because I randomly, working for the post office, you'll receive Facebook messages from people that you don't even really know but have to voice their opinion. And I did receive one the other day, apparently a friend or acquaintance of this gentleman, stating to me that, of course, it was Matt's fault because he was hitting the dog, that dog is so nice, and they're not understanding why this is even being initiated. That if he was to be, nicer to the dog, that it wouldn't have bit. I guess my question, according to her, is that the truth will come out because there's cameras on the property, she stated. So if there are cameras, can we see the legit footage of what he did wrong? That's all I have to say.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I'm not a speaker. But we've been in,
Your name, ma'am?
we've been,
Your last
Your name?
Tracy Johnson,
Oh,
Tracy,
City
okay.
3,
Gotcha.
sorry. We've been in Hampton we've been at the post office here since 2020 now. My first year here, I did have a dog bite. It wasn't severe, but I did have 3 stitches. It was a sneak up behind me. The thing is all of us, whether we're city or whether we're rural, we want no issues with dogs. When we applied with the post office, we knew that somewhere down the road, we could possibly be bit. A dog can have a bad day. We get that. But in the same sense is if everybody is following the city ordinances and their front yards are clear of debris of vehicles and there's space for you to walk up and deliver, and if a dog should sneak up and come at you, you have space to back up and not bump into this or bump into that. I've done it too, where, we do our best to get our customers their mail. We try our best every day to keep our customers happy. We go out of our way to keep them happy. But so for 5 years doing all the city routes in Hampton, Matt has had no issues. He has had no complaints from our customers. 7 years prior to that, we were reading gas meters out of Albert Lee. So 12 years up until now with never a dog bite, never an issue. If everybody in town worked together so that, I know he did not hit no dogs. I know that for a fact. Not one carrier in our office would I ever believe to hit a dog. I do know that the way he showed you that we carry our mail and our arms are full, if you see a dog coming at you quick, the only thing you have to defend yourself in that split second is what's in your hand that we're already getting ready to drop in the mailbox. But if everybody were there once, maybe twice a day, depending on the packages, if everybody could just keep their dog away from where that mailbox is at, we would not have the issues that City 2 had a couple years ago. We wouldn't have had this issue. But it's their home, it's that dog's yard. They're there to protect it. We are only there as a visitor once a day to do our job to deliver what you have coming to you, your mail, your packages. Like I said, if everybody was kinder and worked with us so that we could do our job and keep you happy, it would be so much better, because our goal is to make our customers happy, get the mail delivered, and go home safely to our kids, to our families. Because if my daughter were here, she'd be speaking right now, but I wouldn't allow that, so. They know my daughter. So I'm good.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, Mike Arndorfer, Postmaster of the Hampton Post Office. First, I want to start by reading this statement that our safety department sent out to me after this all happened. It says, "Dog owners are responsible for controlling their dogs. Most communities have ordinances for the control of dogs. Even though postmasters frequently ask customers to control their dogs and have discontinued service to those who do not cooperate, injuries caused by dogs continue to mount." So, along that lines, unfortunately, Hampton has a lot of irresponsible dog owners. I am a dog owner. I love dogs. I've been bitten by a dog when I was carrying. I have scars to show it. I do not ever want to see somebody have to put their dog down. But they need to be responsible. They need to be responsible owners. Why in God's name are we tying our dog out where they are in range of the mailbox? It shouldn't happen. My dogs all go in the backyard. And I understand maybe people don't have back doors anymore, but tie your dog on the side of the house. Walk out the door. Quit being lazy. Because it's the irresponsible dog owners that are the reason things like this happen. I would like to see a city ordinance that says if you have a dog tied out, they can be no more than 150 feet from the mailbox. Because if they're 150 feet from the mailbox, unless they got a super long chain, they're not going to reach my mail carrier. And my mail carriers aren't going to get bit. So I'd like the city council to take that into consideration since they're revamping this dog ordinance right now. I'd like them to seriously think about that so that we don't have any more dog bites. And as far as people on social media go, they're just mean. Not one of my carriers would ever think about hitting a dog. In fact, I can tell you, all but one person in my office owns a dog. So if they beat a dog out on a route, that's just like beating their own dog. And I know none of them do that. So people are ridiculous when they make that comment that the mail carrier is out there beating dogs as they walk by the street. And another thing, they are not required to walk the sidewalks and the driveways, because if they did that all day long, they wouldn't get done delivering their route till 8 o'clock at night. Mail postal policy says the most direct route from one house to the next, and that means walking through the yard. If there's a dog out, they're not going to walk through that yard. Yes, then they will take the sidewalk or the driveway, because that's how they're trained. But people that think just because they have a dog and my dog owns that property, that the mail carrier shouldn't be walking through that yard anyway, they need to come talk to me. If they don't want somebody walking through their yard, it needs to be in writing, on file at my office. They don't just tell the mail carrier, hey, quit walking through my yard. That's not how things work. There's a policy that's in place to take care of things like that. And apparently the community is uninformed of things that work that way. And then, as far as the city ordinance goes for the campers being parked in the yards, my understanding is it's not supposed to be parked in a yard, period. Am I correct in that? Because, yes, he moved his camper, but he moved it around to the west side of the house, and it's still parked in the yard.
And that's an issue that we're taking care of that as well.
When I happened to be on the southwest part of town, I saw 3 other campers that are parked in their yard in Hampton. I own a camper. My camper is not parked in my yard. I rent a place to park my camper that's legal to park it. You know, it's issues like that that cause what happened to Matt on Wednesday. We need to get all the ordinances in place and start enforcing them the way they were meant to be enforced. And what people don't understand is chains laying across steps or across their yard or in front of their mailbox, that's a safety hazard for the mail carriers. And I don't want to start forcing everybody to put their mailboxes on the curbside, but that's what I'm going to do if we continue to have dog issues. Matt came back to work Wednesday after he got bit, after I told him he could go home. But he's too stubborn and he went back to work. Fortunately, Thursday was his day off, so he took Thursday off, came to work Friday, and he ended up going home before 11 o'clock because he had 2 dogs chase him when he went out on his route. 2 more irresponsible dog owners. And one of them let their dog out the front door the minute his truck pulled up out front. And the other one was a dog that was unrestrained in a business running out the door when he was going in to deliver the mail. So again, irresponsible dog owners. There needs to be something to make our owners take responsibility for having a pet. You know, my dogs are big babies when I'm at home, but I'm not going to tell you, Mr. Mayor, my dog won't ever bite you.
Exactly.
Because I don't know what you might do. You might flinch the wrong way. You might say the wrong thing, and all of a sudden they're attacking you. So I would never tell anybody my dog's not going to bite. I don't care how big a baby they are and how good they are to you and your friends that come over all the time. They only see the mail carrier once a day. That dog apparently got startled because Matt walked around that corner. But again, the owner should have taken some responsibility, grabbed that dog chain, and hollered after that dog before he even got to Matt. And then I know Thursday when I was here, there was something brought up about somebody rallying the troops to come in here and talk about dog bites, and that's not the case. I came on my own free will to support my carrier because city council meetings are open to the public and open for public comment. And I didn't want to wait till the dog meeting was set to come talk about my carrier and what had happened. I wanted to do it while it was fresh in my mind. So I came on my own free will. I just happened to talk to Bill on the phone that morning because he had heard about the incident, and being a former postmaster, he was concerned and called me wanting to know some of the details. So I filled him in. That's why he knew what was going on that night. I guess that's all I got. Anybody have any questions for me? Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Anybody else want to make comments?
My name is Clint Fry, and I too am unaware of having to have your pets registered. I've never heard this before. So,
State law.
well, I didn't know that. And as far as Buddy's concerned, he gets super excited when company comes over, and he's never been aggressive to me or anybody that I've seen come over there. So that's all I got to say.
All right. No, just to state that we do have that it is in our ordinance that you have to have your dog registered vaccination. So it's there. Anybody else?
Hello, I'm Penelope Shaw, SHAW. I'm the supervisor at the Hampton Post Office. I've been there for a little over a year. I'm here in support of Matt and for all the other carriers in our office. I've worked with Matt for over a year, and he's one of the best carriers that I've ever worked with. He truly is one of our strong carriers on our team. All of them are. I've seen Matt do nothing but go above and beyond to provide good customer service. In fact, we've had a lot of discussions on how should I handle this, how should I handle this, because he really wants to provide good customer service. And I've seen him really go above and beyond to do that. I'm really proud to have him as one of our carriers. Didn't realize how hard of a job that our city carriers have until I got forced to help carry. Obviously, you can tell by looking at me that I don't do carrying mail very well, and I have a lot of respect for them for their job physically and just everything that goes into it. And I think people truly don't understand the hard job that it is unless you're actually out there doing it. There's a lot going on, a lot you're processing, a lot you're getting mail ready for your next stop. You're looking for any signs of dogs. Numerous times because I'm not as experienced as these guys, I've come up to a house where there was a leash laying around by the mailbox. I'm like, oh shoot, I'm glad Fluffy wasn't out, because if he was there at the end of that leash, I might have just gotten bit. So it's something I have to work on too, is just constantly watching. These guys are very good at knowing the houses that have dogs. And I'm not so much, so it's a little harder for me, a little nerve-wracking. I do see a lot of places where we come up to the house or we're approaching a house and the dog is at the mailbox. Obviously, if I'm delivering, or they are also instructed not to deliver to that house if the dog is out by the mailbox. And then we will hold the mail. In some cases, it's been such a problem that we've had to ask the customer to either move their mailbox to the curb or to open a P.O. box. I have a lot of faith in Matt and his skill and ability to deal with dangerous dog situations. I had an experience where I was walking with him. As managers, we do route evaluations to check on safety issues and things such as that. And I was walking with him, and as we were cutting across a yard, as Mike stated, that's what we're instructed to do, is take the shortest route to the next mailbox. A loose dog, which I believe was on its own property but was loose, charged at us coming around the corner. I was scared to death. That was my first encounter of such an event. Matt was extremely calm, and seeing his calmness helped me to remain calm, because I was freaking out inside. And as his supervisor, I really didn't want him to know that, but I was very scared. And he handled the situation in such a way that the owner ended up retrieving the dog. We walked away safe, but it was very, very rattling. And I'm just sharing that to share that I know that he's knowledgeable in handling situations with loose dogs, and he handled it very calmly and very professionally. So the situation at the address where he did get bit, with him not being able to see the dog around the camper, the leash should still not have been able to reach the mailbox where he was going. And I would also support Mike's suggestion or request of an ordinance of a dog being 150 feet away from a mailbox to keep our carriers safe. I was there the Friday that he came back to work. I was there when he called me twice that morning to tell me of 2 different incidences where dogs came out of a business and another one a home and ran at him. Just because of privacy, I guess I have to be careful what I say, but he did end up leaving. I could tell he was rattled and that he went through a very traumatic event last Wednesday. And I'll leave it at that. The only other thing I wanted to say then again about the dogs being at mailboxes was one of the houses where the dog ran out of the house toward him. We did end up deciding that owner needed to move, because it wasn't the first time it had happened, that they needed to move their mailbox to the curb or open a P.O. box. Mike and I both attempted to deliver this customer a letter on Friday, and we were not able to because the dog was out at the mailbox. I tried again on Saturday, the dog was out at the mailbox. I told Mike on Monday, Mike, we gotta try again and get this letter delivered, and just, we'll keep trying every day. And he was successful in delivering it, I think today, today finally. So 4 business days it took just to deliver that letter to that customer. Mm-hmm. It is a serious problem, and I would strongly suggest that you seriously consider an ordinance to help protect our carriers who are trying to provide a service to all of you in the community. Thank you for listening.
All right. Thank you.
Hi, I am Mary Abbas. I'm a rural carrier. I just wanted to note that there was a question about if the dog had ever charged anybody else on Facebook, which is public. One of the people had said that this dog had charged their child or their children while riding a bike. That's a huge concern for me because I have a 2-year-old, and if that dog could do that to him, it's concerning on if that was a child, because children, they do run around and they play and whatever else, and they're kind of careless and go into yards. So that would be a concern if a child went into their yard and what would happen. I would say in regards to like viewing, for me, whenever I go to a house, I'm not walking all the time. I'm driving most of the time. But at every house that I go to where I have to get out and deliver a package, I'm always scanning, and I'm guessing that every carrier does, looking for any sign, a dog toy, a dog bowl, bones, anything, even dog poop, just to make sure like that we're not walking to a situation where there's a dog hidden behind a house or whatever, and that's going to come out. Making sure definitely that there's like a view to that dog, no matter what, if you are going to have one, is so helpful to us to make a judgment. Do we want to go up there or not? Because if I see a dog and it's anywhere that it can reach me, I'll honk the horn and I'll have the owner come out and get the package from me instead of taking that chance and putting myself at risk. So definitely just trying to make sure that we can see and make these decisions wisely is just very helpful. And Matt, as a carrier, he's probably one of the best carriers that I've ever worked with. Goes always there, doesn't call in, like he's just a hard worker. And I can say after this, you can see the trauma that he's dealt with. It's been hard for him. I mean, he's left work because it is hard. And this is my biggest fear as a carrier, is just like having a dog bite and then going back out there. And then every little dog that you see, you're going to be worried about it. It really, and I know that you're the dog owner, but it's very traumatizing. And we just need help in regards to do our job and to provide you your services. That's what we want to do. And we want to go home to our kids at the end of the day, or our family, or whatever. So just having that support in the community would be incredibly helpful. That's all.
All right. Thank you. Anybody else?
Mayor, could I bring Mike, the postmaster, back up for a couple questions?
Sure.
Mike? Mike, I want to know, I've heard it 3 times now that on Friday, 2 dogs came out and rushed the postal employee. My question is, what did the police have to say when you called them to let them know that?
I didn't call them. Well, we just handled the situation on our own. Matt had talked to the business that he went into. He talked to the business and told them that he didn't feel that was proper. And the other address, as my supervisor told you, we drew up a letter and delivered it to the home to have them move their box to the curbside, because it's been an issue at that house. And as you heard from her,
Right.
it took us 4 days to be able to deliver that one letter.
Right.
And that person's mail has been on hold since Friday, and they have yet to come in and retrieve their mail.
Right. 'Cause my point is, we don't know what we don't know. And so
Exactly.
if you guys get rushed at all by dogs, call us. This is what we're here for. Nobody's going to know the law because they didn't know there wasn't a law until they know the law. And please,
Understand.
please, call us on that. Call the PD.
Okay?
Thank you.
All right. Thank you.
Absolutely.
Anybody else? Ebet?
I would like, of course, you guys know who I am, Matt. I would also like to add that not every time that we have a dog incident are we going to call the police department. You know, not every time. We have to deal that. I have to go back and notify my supervisor or Mike about the situation, and then it's determined from there. We can't be calling the police department every time we run across a dog. Or, yeah, I have a feeling I understand what you're saying,
Right.
in this specific incident where the owner let the dog out, it was on a chain. It was able to reach the mailbox, of course. But opening up the door, letting the dog out, he did not look for me. He had, the owner of that dog and that resident did not even know I was there. And I'm not, this is a separate issue. When Mike said that, I apologize. I thought
Is it for you?
Yeah.
I thought I shut that off. But yeah, as I was getting back, this dog owner, I'm not going to call him a responsible dog owner because he did not look for me in his front yard, but he was responsible to have that dog on a chain when he let it out.
Right.
But was he responsible in looking to see if there was if the yard was clear?
Yeah, and I'm no disrespect, I'm going to stop at you there, because we're actually here to discuss this
Yeah,
dog.
I
know there's other
appreciate
stuff
it.
that
I
goes on
understand that.
around,
I
and
just
we
wanted
get,
to
we got
clarify.
off into that, then we're all over here,
exactly.
so.
I just wanted to
But I
clarify
appreciate that,
instant,
yep.
You know.
Yeah, we're here today to work on the one that we got on the hearing, so. Anybody else? Okay.
Oh, yeah, 1, 2, 3.
Oh, we got a couple in line here.
I'm not,
We got a line.
we're gonna rush me or what?
Okay. Hi, my name is Sandra Justice. These are my sons, William and Brandon. We all are residents here in Hampton. We live in the same household, actually, and we're just here in support of Matt. He's not our regular mail carrier, but he has delivered our mail numerous times over the past years, and he's always been very respectful. We have a dog. We have a large standard poodle. Matt has commented, oh, what a beautiful dog, but we always have our dog. That's the biggest problem is, like you said, failure of dog owners to take responsibility, keep control of their dogs, and just be responsible. Use common sense, which is lacking a lot these days, And we've never seen any behavior out of Matt, any adverse behavior that would cause a dog to attack or bite, I don't know, I wasn't there, so I really don't know. All I wanted to say is that Matt has always been very respectful. He's always went above and beyond. We've never seen any, like I said, adverse behavior or anything out of him. But I would like to say one other thing. And I don't know, I know we're here for the vicious dog incident, but it seems to me that it is becoming a bigger and bigger problem for the community as a whole with these dogs and irresponsible dog owners. They don't get them vaccinated, they don't register them, they open the door and they let them out, not on a leash. They're in their yards that are not fenced in. They're not tethered. I mean, it's a safety issue for the whole community. I mean, am I wrong?
You're right.
No.
You're right.
Okay, so while you're taking a look at ordinances, I have a suggestion. Whether it's doable or not, I don't know. You have to talk to your attorneys or do what you guys have to do. I'm just a resident. But what is a dog at large? Somebody want to answer that for me, as far as the city's concerned?
Yeah, by city code.
By city code?
basically.
What constitutes a dog at large?
It's-
You can answer that.
Yeah,
Mark, do you want to?
Mark?
Off the property or into the
That's what I was looking for, off the property.
There.
Why?
Yeah.
I mean, so a dog's not at large as long as if my dog, I'm the dog owner, I'm on my property, my dog's not on a leash, he's not on a tether, he's not in a confined area, and he's not considered at large, he's free to just wander off my property and bite whoever,
He
whatever,
is,
or
he
whatever?
is. He is considered a large one at that point because he's not tethered, he's not controlled. But again, I'm going to remind everybody, we're here to talk about this dog. We've got a lot of stuff that we need to talk about, and we need to talk with ordinances, and we will get to that, but not
Okay.
tonight.
I just
So,
wanted
I
to
appreciate
mention it, and it's food for thought.
Appreciate it, thank you.
Yep.
Okay,
Thank
thank you
you.
for your time.
All right. Now, I know everybody's not been up here, so.
Yep.
Did you have some comment?
Now, Bill, you understand me.
Mhm.
I love them two to death. If I could, if there was 100 dogs, I'd take them. I'd take them. Now, to find out if it has rabies or whatever, I guess according to the vet that we just got done with, that there has to be some kind of saliva with this or something that the dog is not normal. Now, I spent, or I shouldn't say my wife spent it, $150 just to get this dog every shot that it's supposed to have. Now, I didn't know a dog could get something from just a bite on a mosquito. That's just unbelievable. But the thing of it is, Matt and Tracy, they've been delivering mail here. We met a lot more people that just love them to death because they do a great job. And when they get that great job, it comes from their superiors. But I'm going to tell you one thing I think should happen. If the dog is not vaccinated, the owner should be fined $100. Not only that, is the dog can't tell a person that it needs to be vaccinated. It's because of the owner has got to take responsibility. You all got kids, you all got family. I have seen one death of rabies of a person. It was a good friend. But that happens. But we hope, like he says, we have it under control nowadays. But, Bill, you're right. I love them to death. And I mean,
I don't doubt that a bit.
yeah, it's unusual to have a daughter-in-law and a son as great as they are. And I don't want anything to happen to them. So that's my piece.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you. Anybody else? Any discussion among the council?
Is this before our vote?
Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
Yeah.
We can do it before, we
can
do
that
after.
After you close the hearing,
Yeah,
Mayor,
yep,
then the council
yep,
can discuss
okay.
too.
All right, then we will go ahead and close the hearing, and that way we won't worry about that. At 7:09. Now, I think what I will go ahead and do, we have two motions here to pick from. I'm going to read both of them before we get a motion. And then, once we have a motion and a second, we will move to discussion, if that works for everybody. So the first motion would be to declare the dog in question as vicious and order the city council to be in order of the city council to be served to the owner, requiring a permanent removal of the dog from the city limits as allowed under code section 5605, or have it destroyed in a humane manner within 3 days, providing evidence of the disposition. Or the other motion would be to declare the dog in question as non-vicious, the incident documented as the first report of an unprovoked attack on record. So at this point, I would entertain a motion for either one of those.
I would like to move that we declare the dog vicious and have him removed from the city limits or humanely destroyed.
Okay, we have a motion by Ms. Griefy to have the dog declared vicious. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Mr. Palmer. All right, now, further discussion. Did you have some? Okay,
Well,
go ahead.
actually, I did. And again, I want to say that I understand completely how the carriers feel. I was a mail carrier for several years. My brother was a mail carrier for 40 years. And I've experienced dog bites. My brother's experienced dog bites. And unfortunately, that happens. And I also know that probably the last people in this room that want anything to happen to this dog is the mail carriers. The mail carriers love their dogs. I could tell you story after the things that mail carriers do for dogs. And one thing that unfortunately troubles me, sometimes the mail carriers love the dogs too much. There's a fine line they got to walk sometimes, but that's neither here nor there. But to decide whether the dog is vicious or non-vicious, I think we need to stick with our ordinance. And the ordinance has 6 different questions whether to determine if this dog was vicious. And the first one has the dog bitten or clawed a person while running at large? Well, technically the dog wasn't running at large. He was tethered. The length of the tether was longer and it could reach the mailbox, but he was tethered. So that's kind of questionable. The second one, the animal has exhibited vicious propensities in the past or present. And from what I've heard at the hearing tonight, this is the first instance other than the comment by Mary about the Facebook statement, and you can take the Facebook statement however you want to. But for the hearing purposes, other than that, I don't see that there was any calls that this dog had been vicious in the past. The third one has the dog bitten or clawed a person on 2 separate occasions in the last 12 months. Well, as far as I know, the police chief indicated that he's had no reports of the dog biting somebody in the last 12 months, and I didn't think I heard it from the postmaster either of any of his carriers. The fourth one is, did the dog bite or claw causing injuries above the shoulders of a person? Well, thank God that didn't happen. And like Pat said, that might have happened, and we were fortunate it didn't happen. And the mail carrier, I think, demonstrated exactly what he was supposed to be doing and how he was holding the mail. And he really didn't have time to swing that bag around. I don't know if you carry a bag, Matt. Some carriers don't. He didn't have time to get that bag, because that bag is his real protection between him and the dog. And it sounds to me like he didn't have time to do that. But the bite was not above the shoulder, so the answer to that one would be no. The fifth one was, if the dog could not be controlled at the time of attack. That's another gray area, because from what I'm hearing, there was no attempt to control that dog at the time of attack. So could he have stopped the attack? Could he have controlled that dog? We don't know. Worse, because evidently nobody tried to stop the dog. And the sixth one has had the animal attacked any domestic animal or fowl on 2 separate occasions within the past 12 months. And the answer to that, from what I understand, what we've heard is no. So out of the 6 things that say whether the dog is vicious or not, or whether it needs to be removed from the town, the city, 4 of them are definitely no, and 2 of them are kind of a gray area. So, and when I think about that dog, and I'm thinking about who did the right thing and who did the wrong thing, and you could go in several different directions of this, but the dog might have been just protecting. If the owner was out there, and there's still a gray area if the dog owner was out there or not, maybe he was protecting the owner. I don't know. But the dog did what dogs do. So does that make him vicious? Under the guidelines we have, I don't think that it does. So I would recommend that you vote no on this, vicious. And when we put him on a vicious note, or when we say he's not vicious, that means if anything like this happens again within the next year, and it doesn't even, I don't even know if it comes before the council, it's automatic, I think. If it happens a second time within 12 months, the dog's gone. Is that true or not, Mayor? I'm not sure. If yes, we have to have another council meeting or what?
You'd have to have another hearing.
You have to have another hearing. But it sounds to me at that point, it's a pretty done deal if it happens a second time. So I guess that's my comments, Mayor. Thank you.
Okay.
I'd like to make the comment, though, that we have established that this is an irresponsible dog owner. The dog is not registered. The dog is not up to date on his vaccinations. He was unable to control the dog or neglected to control the dog, and furthermore, did not report the incident. I've heard lots of comments about we ought to step up. We have lots of irresponsible dog owners in town. And we're trying to work on that. We're trying to stiffen things so that dog owners are taking responsibility. This is a pretty vicious attack. He didn't have the dog under control. We've declared other animals vicious based on that one answer. The dog was not under control. Thanks.
All right. Mr. Lemos.
My feelings are that dogs are not humans, but we treat them like family. We don't know what they're going to do, and we don't know what humans are going to do, and we can't second guess everything.
Right. Any other discussion? Ms. Rhodey?
Just living in the same neighborhood as Mr. Walker, I've seen the dog probably every day for the past 3 years since I've lived in the house that I do and now. He's also probably less than a block away from a school bus stop. So that's another thing to consider. But on the flip side of that, I know I'm not always home, so I probably don't witness everything that happens. I personally have not ever seen that dog go after any children, and he will have a ton of kids that walk by his house during school to either go to the bus or come home. And like I said, whether that sways your vote one way or the other, I just personally have not seen it, and like I said, I'm not always home, so I might miss things. But that could be another concern too, at the bus stop there.
Yep.
I personally wouldn't like to take that chance.
Right. I'd like to add just a comment to that. This comes down to the ever popular owner of the dog. The dog isn't there. The owner is required to control their dog. Now, this depends, in my opinion, says whether that dog's on a leash or if that dog's off a leash. Because if you're walking your dog, you still have to control that dog, and things can happen while you're walking a dog, hypothetically. But the control of the dog is a big factor in my opinion, and basically the bottom line is the dog owner's responsibility. It's their responsibility to make that happens, make sure that happens. So.
I guess I had one more thing to say before this is over. And I wanted to thank the Officer Morrison. You did exactly what you should have done, Mark. You followed the book to the letter, and you took that dog and you impounded it because you weren't sure of the rabies vaccination. You made that determination, and I want to personally thank you for doing that. That's what we need to do to clear up this problem, is to follow our ordinances, and you did it by the book, and I appreciate that. And the second thing I want to say, Mr. Mayor, is I want to thank you for your quick response to call this meeting, that it didn't dawdle around for 3 months. And that's another thing that needed to be done, and you did it, and I appreciate it.
All right. Thank you. All right, Mr. Palmer.
I guess when I look at these pictures and think, well, the dog's not vicious, and I look at these pictures, and it's hard to argue that the dog isn't. We had dogs when I was a kid. They never did anything like this, but I get it that dogs aren't humans, and the rest of the stuff that Bill brought up, the litmus test of our ordinance, spells out to me, no, it's not vicious. The pictures and what the mail carrier went through, he'll be scarred for life. There's no doubt about it. I don't care how you spin it.
Mm-hmm.
He can live to be 110 years old. He hears a dog bark or growl or charge him, that's a that's a difference that person's going to remember for the rest of their life, and that's the scar.
Yep.
The arm is going to heal. It's the scar, that's the mental scar that never will.
That's right. Thank you. Any other discussion? Mr.
I guess
Davis?
just a comment I'd like to make. I guess no dog bite necessarily means the dog is vicious. In this case, I mean, it was a horrible, horrible situation, but like listening to the comments, it appears like the mail carrier, Matt, was very startled, and I imagine the dog was too. They were both surprised, and as much as it was a horrible situation, I think that's just how the dog reacted when it was startled. It was a bad thing that happened, but just to say it's vicious, I'm having a hard time with that. I agree with you, Pat, looking at the pictures are bad, but I think just that situation, and I think the city has to look at different possible changes to the ordinances that this doesn't happen again. But I think if anyone's to blame, it's the dog owner, not the dog.
Mm-hmm.
I do want to say the option is always to move the dog out of city limits. The dog doesn't have to be euthanized. It can be moved out of the city limits, especially with the proximity to the school bus and kids running around. Those are horrible bites. It was a horrible experience for an adult. Imagine what it'd be like for a kid.
That's right. Anything else? Hearing nothing, we're going to put this to the roll call vote and determine. We have a motion to declare the dog in question as vicious motion by Ms. Griefy, second by Mr. Palmer. Roll call vote will be Mr. Holmstrom.
No. Nay.
Mr. Davies.
No.
Mr. Lamos.
Aye.
Mr. Palmer.
Aye.
Ms. Griefy.
Aye.
Ms. Grove. Ms. Rhodey.
This time I'm going to say no.
Okay. All right, so we got a vote of 3 nays and 2 and 3 ayes. So we got 3 of us who want to go make it vicious, and 3 that we don't want to make it vicious. And unfortunately, that comes down to me as a tiebreaker. I want everybody to know at this point, this is the hardest thing about being mayor and a city council is these dog hearings. I'm a dog lover. I've had dog rescues my whole life. Love them to death. But when they get out of control and they're not controlled, then we need to make a change with it. So at this point, for me, to break the tie, I'm going to vote aye to declare the dog vicious, unfortunately. And that brings us to our last item. Entertain a motion to adjourn the special session of the city council.
I would make that motion.
Second.
Votes by Mr. Holmstrom, second by Mr. Palmer. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? We are adjourned. Thank you.